Well, right now, an update on a story that a viewer sent to us during our You Choose the News segment. And as we promised to do, we did look into it. Now, a week from now, 538 electors will cast their votes in the final and definitive and constitutionally mandated election of the year. And some of those electors, as well as some ordinary Trump voters, have been threatened with violence, and a few of the voters anyway have been subject to it. And yet somehow the Department of Justice doesn't seem all that interested in investigating any of this, or even in commenting why it won't investigate. One elector, Michael Benarian, joined us last week and told us about his experience.
I've just been inundated, not just myself, but electors across the country with hundreds of emails, Facebook messages, letters to my home. I'm getting like 5 or 6 a day, got a large stack on my dining room table, and they're just generally very hateful, angry messages, and unfortunately, I've received a couple of death threats, some death wishes, and just some angry messages from people who are disappointed in the election results.
Well, kind of a big deal. Where is DOJ in all of this? Well, here now in the studio, J. Christian Adams. He is a former attorney for the Department of Justice. Christian, it's great to see you.
Thank you, Tucker.
So you'd think under any other circumstance you can imagine, DOJ would be on this. I mean, they're on any kind of voter intimidation story, always, it seems like, but not these.
The inaction by justice really promotes a culture of lawlessness, of tolerance, of political violence. Just imagine, Tucker, it was 25 years ago, and Clinton just won, and his electors are being threatened with death. Or imagine if somebody who voted for Obama and got him elected in Georgia or Western Pennsylvania was caught on video being brutally beaten up.
It's a total ZANU-PF move. No, it's Mugabe. You're right. I mean, look, the idea that we're not going to protect you unless you vote for us is scary. Now, there's no better example of this than a video of a guy called David Wilcox. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have seen this. It's a horrifying video, and it was November 8th, right after the election. He got into some kind of altercation in Chicago, got out of his car, and here's what happened. Watch this.
You vote Trump! You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, yeah! Yeah, you voted Trump! Yeah! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump!
Now, I'm not for hate crimes laws because I think all of us are equal before the law. But if you're going to ever invoke one, I mean, here's a case where they're saying we're beating you up because of your race and who you voted for. Could it be clearer?
Violation of Section 11 of the Voting Rights Act, which says you can't intimidate, threaten, or coerce somebody for voting. It's a clear violation. I've sent letters to the Justice Department saying, why aren't you doing anything about this? The Justice Department, when it comes to elections, protects their friends and ignores their enemies. That's why this guy is not getting justice in Chicago.
So there's no federal investigation into the tape we just showed that you're aware of?
As far as we know, we've got no response. Public Interest Legal Foundation sent a letter to the voting section and the criminal section in the Civil Rights Division. You know, the same people who rush to any other event, but we've got no response.
Who argue that, you know, your opinions are making me feel, quote, unsafe. Okay. Here you have a guy who's getting kicked in the face on the ground for voting Trump, and because he's the wrong skin color, and they're not doing anything? I mean, It's hard to believe that.
And they're specifically yelling, he voted Trump. Imagine if it was right outside Pittsburgh in 2008, Obama wins the election, and people are dragging people out of cars who are African-Americans saying he voted for Obama. Everybody watching knows what the Justice Department would do and should do.
And by the way, I'd be completely for it. I mean, I'd be for them coming. You know, you can't hit people or commit any act of violence because you disagree with their politics.
Exactly, and that's what we're risking here. With electors being threatened by people, if you vote for Trump, we'll kill you. With voters being threatened, you voted for Trump, let's beat him up. That's a dangerous, incendiary situation that needs to be fixed.
Well, I would love to have someone with the Justice Department on, and I doubt they'd come to explain why they're not doing anything about that. Christian Adams, thanks a lot.
Thanks,
Great
Tucker.
to see you.
You too.